just got out of the shower and I had some time to think while I was in there because that's where I do some of my best thinking. And I didn't even bother putting my makeup or anything on, not even clothes, because I don't want to lose this train of thought. But so I am a professional. I'm a professional hairstylist. I'm a professional hairstylist assistant, professional makeup artist. I am licensed. I can do whatever I want if I wanted to do that. And I don't. And I'm going to tell you guys why I don't. I first started in the hair industry in 2009 when I was fresh out of my first senior year of high school. I thought I was such a big deal. Finally, I'm out in the workforce. I'm doing something with my life. Yay me, full-time career. I enjoyed it. I didn't so much enjoy the hierarchy that goes on in hair salons, where if you're an assistant, you get treated like shit. And if you're a hairstylist, you get your fucking ass kissed and you're the ground that you walk on worshipped. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's okay. You can't have two separate class systems inside of your business and expect it to run flawlessly, because that's not how people work. You treat us all equally or we leave. So in this case, I did part ways with that company. More due to my maturity level at the time as a fresh out of high school teenager. I was not up to par with the manners that are expected in such a high class salon. And that's understandable. I'm a teenager. I have not learned how to keep my filter like glued to my face yet, which, you know, I lost the filter somewhere along the way. So I'm even less qualified now than I was when I was a teenager. But let's fast forward to 7 years later. And it is now. And it is now a couple of months ago when I first started working at Salon 124 Group. Yeah, I'm absolutely calling you guys out now in front of the entire world. You disgust me. There are so many great people that work in your company, yet you disgust me. You have a private HR section. You run it for yourself. And you allow people to come into your company and create a hostile environment for other people to work inside of. And yet, though you have your own personal PR department within your company, and you're not going through any outsourcing whatsoever to have a PR firm with your company, somehow you have one of the most hostile and uninviting, unwelcoming, ununderstanding, and takes absolutely no time to consult any members of the party involved with the HR dispute. They just hear word on the street, formulate their own case, validate that in their own unknown, strange, bizarre way, because I know for a fact not once was I approached with a question, a comment, or a concern during my 3.5 weeks working there. I was approached once for wearing tights that just weren't full coverage enough. And that was the last that I was ever approached by anybody. Though I receive constructive criticism well, though I always take instruction well, though I have a skill set that is something beyond what you can train. And that's what I have always been told. Wow, your skill set, your skill set, your skill set. So in this line of work that I am in, where your skill set is your most important attribute, aside from the way that you can interact and speak with customers / clients / anybody in the entire world, I'm let go from a company where my skill set is out of this world. Every job I've ever had involving this particular skill set, I just received nothing but rave reviews, rave comments, high praise, tip on tip on tip. Okay, I am great at this. My first 2 days in my new hair salon were worse than my first week in a high-profile strip club. In 7 years, the beauty industry has evolved to a point where it is a hierarchy, it is a mean girl clique, it is a joke. Your skill set doesn't enable you to act this way. You are not half as talented as I am. And you're going to sit here at the same table as me, and you're going to tell me I'm not allowed to sit here because currently I'm an assistant and you're a stylist? Are you fucking insane? Am I a person? Do I wash your client's hair for you? I do. Are you really going to treat somebody that's your assistant like shit? Because here's something I've always heard from people better than you, greater than you, more successful than you, smarter than you. You don't judge a man by how they treat their equals. You judge them by how they treat their inferiors. And Salon 24, you are an inferior salon to me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I come in with a happy, boisterous personality, that I want to make friends, that I want to brighten people's day, that I actually was told, tone it down. You're not supposed to be the star of the show. The stylist is the star of the show. Their client liked you better. You need to calm down. I'm being fired because I have a better personality than a fucking hairstylist? Does anything about that make sense? No. The fact that I sit here and I worry about what I have to wear to work because I don't want to be ostracized at work. Because I'm tired of sitting at the fucking lunch table, not having anybody to talk to, because all you bitches have your heads so far up your own fucking asses that you're talking to your liver instead of the person next to you, trying to get to know you, trying to make conversation with you. Who told you you were so fantastic and important and fucking talented that you could treat people like shit? You can't! You are not ever talented enough to send somebody home from work crying, so mortally depressed and debilitated and torn apart and stepped on from the fucking last 3 days of you ignoring them so solidly that they forgot they were a real person that had a voice box that worked, that was audible. And so after I file complaints with HR and tell them I'm being treated like shit by my coworkers, my boss pulls me into the office and tells me I am obligated to assert myself with less force because some people don't really like making new friends. Some people don't really want to talk to you or get to know you. Some people are rude, selfish pieces of shit that would rather ignore someone and make them feel insignificant than say hi, good morning back. Are you fucking kidding me? That's an awful atmosphere to breed. That is an awful atmosphere to instill into your employees. You are training them to haze other employees. You are training people to treat other people like shit. So after I get that meeting with my boss, I go to another meeting. You know, I've got another pin, actually. I'm going to put a pin in that second meeting. After that meeting with my boss, he finds out that I spend, for whatever fucking reason, $160 every 2 weeks to get back and forth to work. Yes, I agree, it's fucking ridiculous, but it's not as ridiculous as not having a job and just allowing my husband to flounder. This man pulls me into the office and tells me, well, I think you should take Monday off. Monday, we're going to underline that. We're going to circle it in bright red. Monday. Take Monday off. I want you to get in touch with Tammy over at HR. Calling you, Tammy. We're talking now. We're talking, girl. So we call Tammy over in HR, and I'm like, hey, so I would love to try and pick up some shifts at any of the other Salon 124s in my area, be it Grayson or Web Gin. Okay, well, we're full right now. We're fully staffed for the holiday season, but I will definitely email you as soon as I have an appointment available so that we can have a conversation. Cool. Here comes Monday. I text my boss. No. I text Sheila, my fellow assistant, and I'm like, hey, can you send me a picture of the schedule? She says, girl, what are you talking about? You're not on the schedule anymore. I said, girl, what are you talking about? I should be on the schedule. Michael told me to take off Monday. So I call Michael. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I made that clear. We're letting you go. You're letting me go. But you told me to take off Monday. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I had made that clear. We're going to find some girl that lives around here to cover your hours. I hope you can find something. Michael, you didn't even tell me I was fired. I spent the entire fucking weekend and today operating under the delusion that I have a job. You're telling me I don't have a job anymore. No, I'm sorry. I just couldn't live with you paying $80 a week to get to work. That's terrible. Did you email Tammy? Well, yeah, Michael, I emailed Tammy, but she doesn't even know you fired me. Do you care to explain that one to me? How are you going to get somebody to fill my shifts in if HR doesn't even know I'm fired so that they can help you find a replacement? It's bizarre. So I get in touch with Tammy. We're pulling that pin back out. Here we go. Get back in touch with Tammy. Takes 2 full fucking weeks for her to make an appointment with me. And I am the one consistently messaging her. So finally I get my meeting with her. And she asks me to explain what happened and why I was let go from the Sugarloaf location. And I told her, girl, I don't know. One day I was just taking Monday off. And at the end of the weekend, I wasn't employed there anymore. I could not tell you what the hell's going on, hun. And she says, well, as a company, we've made a decision to let you go. It just isn't working out. You're too chaotic. I'm too chaotic? How am I too chaotic? Well, I don't really have any Oh, you don't have any examples. Well, I know Michael pulled you in on your first day to talk to you about your wardrobe. You mean my tights? Yes, your tights. Yeah, that was addressed. That was the only time I was ever pulled into the office and addressed about anything. So do you have any examples? Well, we heard that you weren't wearing any undergarments. What? First of all, who reported my lack of undergarments? Because I don't require, I don't know any companies that require you to wear undergarments if they're not necessary. But here's the real thing. It's not like I was fucking wearing a short-ass dress. It's not like I was wearing a see-through shirt. I have fucking prepubescent tits. I have a nipple. I have a nipple. What do I need a bra for? I wear bras so that I look like I have tits. Who was crawling underneath me checking to make sure I had undergarments on? But you know, that's not even the point, because I was wearing undergarments because I was working in a hair salon. Shit gets cold. I don't want my nipples to get hard while I'm shampooing someone that's chafy. I'm wearing a skirt. Of course I'm wearing underwear. Who isn't wearing undergarments? Who? So I'm like, okay, well, that's not real. That's not a good example. Could you give me another one? She didn't have any. She didn't have any examples. Do you know all that she had was compliments for my skill set? All she had was praise from my boss. And then she had a couple of instances where 2 teenage girls ran back to her and told her some kind of little snippet of a conversation I was having that they had twisted into whatever they wanted it to be because they're teenage girls. I don't know why they had a problem with me. I don't even know their names. I don't even know their names. I don't even remember what they look like. So after she fires me, and after she gives me all these compliments, Tammy says, well, I'm glad you let me know all this stuff. Because I told her about how the girls were all clustered together, ignoring me. How they unified in making me cry. How they derived sisterhood from breaking my soul. And how they derived joy from really hurting a bitch's feelings. And the sick part of it all is that I was never apologized to. I was never given any kind of second chance. I was never given an option to defend myself against any of the slanderous comments being made towards me. It wasn't a priority of anybody in the companies to make sure that my property was returned to me, which I would have gotten for myself had I been made aware that I was fired on a Friday instead of being told I needed to take Monday off. And then the owner of all of Salon 124, whom I am friends with his son, comes into her office specifically to say hello to me and to shake my hand. And only then does she come up with any kind of compromise for me. Well, hey, since you already know Brian, maybe I can get you to apprentice directly underneath him. Yeah, maybe. But you know what? I already gave my one last shot at being in the hair industry again. And you guys already killed that dream for me. So, my amazing skill set is never going to flourish. It's never going to be nurtured. And as long as this hierarchy in hair salons goes on, your industry is going to continue to be a revolving door. Because there's no one in this world that wants nor deserves to be treated like shit just because they don't have a license or haven't taken their state boards or simply because it isn't their desire to be a worthless fucking hairstylist. Maybe they're just paying their way through college. Maybe they're just doing their best to provide for their grandkids or their children that they already have. Maybe you should stop treating people like shit because you're elitist assholes. Maybe you should do your job as HR representatives and hear what the humans have to say to their resources. Because frankly, I am horrified and unimpressed by the lack of empathy or care put into your work in your HR department. I was never emailed to see how I was doing in my new position at my new salon. I was never emailed to see if I was happy there. I was never emailed about any of the quote-unquote complaints or reports being made against me. Never, ever, ever was any of that addressed until after the fact. So please explain to me how you call yourself a human resources department if you don't offer anyone any resources against being bullied, against being slandered, against feeling absolutely out of place and hurt on their first 3 days in a new job. Who do I turn to? I don't have any friends. They've made that abundantly obvious. I don't have the manager. I don't have his support. I don't have HR support. So, now I'm going to get YouTube support. I hope you guys really, really, really don't appreciate this because neither did I.